Hello, I'm Ryan F9 and these are my favorite ways to mount a cell phone on a motorcycle. First up is the Hitcase Sucker, which would be a totally weird name, except for the fact that it's a suction cup mount, so it makes sense. The Sucker is perfect for people who want to use their cell phone to take video. See, most mounts attach somewhere near the handlebars, which is good for using my screen, but you're not going to get a very good shot from up there. So I choose the Hitcase Sucker if I want to film my ride, because I can attach it to any smooth surface, film from my tank, from my windshield, from any smooth place on my fairing, whatever angle I need. I was initially worried that this quick suction cup wouldn't actually grip hard enough, but it's really deceptively sturdy. I mean, look. I can ride trailside with this guy on the side of my bike, going through bushes and twigs and all kinds of things, hitting it, hitting bumps, hitting puddles. It's not going to fall off. The base is made by Ram mounts rather than Hitcase, which is probably why it works so well. The double ball arm was outsourced to Ram too, which is nice. I mean, I have one quick release here and it gets me a full range of movement on the lower ball and then a full range of movement on the upper ball as well. It's really easy to find the right angle. The only part of the Hitcase Sucker actually made by Hitcase is the top cell phone holder. And I wish they bought that from Ram too, because they kind of screwed it up. I don't like that this joint is tightened with a screwdriver. It's annoying to have to dig underneath my seat for a Phillips head every time I want to adjust this. And the other thing I dislike is that I can't just take a cell phone and mount it in here. I need this. It's the Hitcase Pro cell phone case, and with this little bracket down the side, I just slot it in like that, and I'm good to go. Continuing with the theme of video, the Hitcase Pro is designed to turn your cell phone into an action cam. It's waterproof, dustproof, shockproof, idiot-proof, the works. It also comes with interchangeable lenses. This one is a wide angle, but I can also get macros, zooms, whatever. Hitcase uses something they call shockwave seal as well, which basically just means that this doesn't muffle sound as much as other waterproof cases. The audio I get is still a little bit fuzzy, to be honest, but I guess it's not as bad as it could be. Other than the video perks, this is a pretty standard cell phone case. Access to all my ports and buttons, half-decent touchscreen capability. But I will say that this thing looks way better in the photos than it does in person. It's big, it's kind of clunky, and while it is very protective, the outer finish feels kind of cheap. But hey, I'd only use this monster while my phone is on my bike anyway, and it's not like I have much choice, because at $45, the Hitcase Sucker is absolutely the best suction cup mount for filming with a cell phone on a motorcycle, and if I want to use it, then I've got to buy this too. And by the way, Hitcase charges $90 for the Pro case, which is only mildly extortionate. Now, what if I don't care about filming video? For general cell phone use, I think that this is the best mounting setup that money can buy. It's a Ram Mounts Tough Claw with a short double socket arm and then a universal X-grip holder. In case you missed the coronation, Ram is the undisputed king of motorcycle mounts. Whether it's a fishing rod or a cup holder or a handgun, Ram has a beautifully made, absolutely sturdy solution for attaching it. Let's start with the holder. It's this spring-loaded hinge mechanism that's going to grip just about any cell phone and a bunch of GPS systems too. As you can tell, it's super quick, super easy to use, and it's very sturdy as well. I don't actually worry about my phone coming out of here. Now, if I did, Ram also supplies this rubber netting around the back, hooks over the top of the cell phone as a sort of fail-safe. My only complaint with the X-grip is that because of the way the iPhone buttons are located, the holder typically tries to power off my phone or adjust my volume. So I basically just have to let the cell phone sit a little bit high in the holder or get a case that guards the buttons. Ram makes their own Aquabox case that will do the trick, but it's a total piece of garbage in every other respect, so don't buy it. Moving down, we have the exact same double ball arm that we saw in the Hitcase Sucker. I absolutely love that. And then after that, it's just the Tough Claw itself. Super simple here. I've untwisted the clamp, I put it around my handlebar, and I tighten it back up again. This is very securely going to grab onto any handlebar between 5/8 and 1.5 inches in diameter. I could also throw it onto my crash bars to get a good filming angle. I could secure it to the crossbeam in a canoe. I mean, the thing is so rock solid and so versatile to install, I'm probably going to take it wherever my adventure leads. This Tough Claw setup is so good, I'm not sure why anyone would get an old school clamp. Just kidding, it turns out there is a good reason to buy a standard bolt-on mount, and that's because it's cheap as hell. 36 bucks for this entire setup, handlebar mount, ball socket, cell phone case. That's less than half the price of my beloved Tough Claw. It's called the Kuryakin Archon smartphone pouch, by the way, and it's really nothing fancy. This bit clamps onto the handlebar using 2 Phillips head bolts with nuts on the bottom. Once you get it on there, it is just as solid as the claw, but it takes more tools and time to get it right, and that means I'm not going to want to be taking this thing off and putting it back on very often. Then there's the middle piece. I mean, as every guy knows, it's better to have 2 balls than to have 1, but Kuryakin did not listen to Mother Nature, and so they just gave me a single ball joint in here. As a result, the range of movement, not so great. Also, no matter how hard I tighten down this flange, the ball head never really gets fully tight. So every time I ride over a big bump, this thing changes position a little bit. Then there's the pouch. It's essentially just a bag with two different foamy backings. Use the thin one if you have a thick phone, and the thick one if you don't. My iPhone 6 takes the thicker foamy, and it only barely fits lengthwise. It's the most basic of designs, but it is actually pretty well built. I'm gonna have two big zippers here that are gonna open up the bag. It's a sturdy faux leather construction. The only reason this is listed as water resistant instead of waterproof is because they've left a hole at the bottom for my headphones or my power cord. The downside to a universal holder is that you lose a lot of the functionality. I mean, there's no way at all for me to press my buttons through the side of this pouch. And then the touchscreen, I mean, it does kind of work, but it's a bit like kissing your girlfriend through a screen door. It's possible, but it's too annoying to really bother. Anyway, the whole shebang cost 36 bucks, so that excuses most of its shortcomings. Now, what if I can't use a handlebar mount? Maybe I have clip-ons, or maybe there's just no free space left on my bars. In that case, it's the Ram Mount's fork stem mount. This one is the toughest to install, but it's still not hard. And basically I shove this into my fork stem, and then I make some cuts to the rubber plug depending on how far it went in. After that, I stick this bolt through the top piece, through the middle of this rubber plug, and then I attach one of these tooth grip washers and a nut to the other end. That way, when I tighten down the bolt, the rubber plug is squeezed and so it expands outwards and it grips onto the inside of my fork stem. When I'm finished, it'll look something like this. To complete the setup, I just attach whichever arm and holder I want to the top of that ball head. The downside to a fork stem mount is that you can only put it in one spot, but it is the cleanest looking solution out there because the mounting hardware is all hidden down inside your fork stem. And the other thing is that because it's centrally located, you don't feel any uneven weight on your handlebars. Plus, you get the least amount of vibration from this mounting point. So that's it for my favorite cell phone mounts. We have the Hitcase Sucker if I want to take video with my phone. I have the Ram Tough Claw for general handlebar use. I have the Kuryakin Archon if I'm a cheap bastard. And then I have the Ram Fork Stem mount if I have clip-ons. Thank you very much for watching.